this is maybe the most important thing. Like, guys, we've been in this debate for 5 years. Like, I live in the north. Okay, so I see the sun circling the North Pole. All right, so like Australians, that's obviously what you do to show that it's a ball. Is you take 3 measurements. Okay, 3 measurements. We want orientation. Okay, so we want to see east, west. We want to see the compass, right? We want like times. So maybe show your phone, like how my videos are. Yeah, and then 3. Okay, 3. So what you're doing is you're gonna measure to see if it's a circle around the south. Don't you get it? Like, why do these people talk about, like, oh look, there's a rock that does this? Like, okay. But you only if you're involved though, right? Well, if I set it up with a trigger, so only if you're involved then, right? I mean, this is every conversation with every glober. It's 2 + 2 = we live on a ball, and I dropped a rock, and so that means that there's another force making that happen. Definitely not me. It's like, guys, verbs, subjects. You got to figure out these basics before you're going to get to science of whether or not the earth is flat or not. Just show the sun circling the South Pole. That's proof of the South Pole. If you prove the South Pole, then you disprove in the middle of every single night, the sun is north of you. Check the moon to confirm that. But in the middle of the night, you need to realize that in the middle of the night, that would disprove the flat earth too. You could just video that. Now, this model is just a basic flat earth representation of the moon and its phases. So this is 1 month of the sky, and you're actually able to see it all throughout the day and night, so that you can get a good grasp. And then there's a solar eclipse. This here is the heliocentric model. If you imagine yourself being on the surface of that Earth, then what you're going to realize is that the phases on that moon are actually of the top and the bottom, and not the left and the right. This is a representation covering an entire month's worth of moon phases on a heliocentric Earth. Phases coming from the top, coming from the bottom. Let's take a look at it again. You've heard the saying, the sun is down. Well, if the sun actually is down, then this is what you have to see. Alright, here's south. Can you see that? Alright, and it says it's 1:30. Hopefully you can see that over the corner there. 1:30. Here's south. What the fuck? It keeps drifting more and more. It's noon, okay? But it's 1:30, and this is daylight savings time, so that means time just changed an hour, not too long ago. So at 1:30, the sun is at high noon. What kind of a fucking model requires you to be an hour and a half off? And this is daylight savings time, so even worse. Alright, so solar time is 8 o'clock. According to like the computer or the phone, it's 9:30. So
It's pretty far from our zenith. It's pretty much a full moon. But the issue is how directly above us it is. So hopefully I'll be able to catch this again next at midnight. And yeah, get a good idea of what's going on. Alright, so pointing directly up is the moon. And here is south. And here is east. And there it is again. Oh, let's swing back around to the south. And there we can see we're south again. So, there you have it. Alright, sorry for taking so long to get this video out. Long time in the making. It really has been. It would have gone a lot quicker if I had received any submissions. To date, I've received 0. And that's been the whole point of this channel, is to get information from other places. So thanks for that, guys. Appreciate that. And essentially what I've come to conclude is that the evidence speaks for itself. So let's just get right into it. If we take a look at this image of a globe, we're able to see, obviously, regular globe. But if we draw a line through from 44 north, which is where I am, I'm in Ontario, Oregon. So draw a line through the Earth, and that's actually exactly where we expect the sun to be in the solstice. It's winter solstice. Today is the 21st of December, 21. And it is the end of the flat Earth. We were tricked into it. And the proof, I mean, I just showed you the proof. This line here through the Earth, that's exactly where they claim the sun is right now. At the furthest south that it ever gets. That's where they say it is. And so, is it there? Yes. And we can see that from home. No need for any cameras or anything like that. Go out tonight, take a look at the moon, make sure that it's solar midnight, which is like 1:30. You can split the difference on timeanddate.com. You'll notice that the sun rises at a different time than it sets, and it shouldn't. It should be, since we're on 12-hour clock, it should be the same hours that it rises and sets in. Either way, that's irrelevant now. Why is the model off? I don't know. Why can't curvature be measured? I don't know. But what do we know for sure? We know for sure that the sun is down. If there's a down for the sun to be in, that means the Earth is not flat. It can't be. It's impossible. Should I have got this earlier? Yes, I really should have. But winters, I don't do well in winter. So this one, I happened to capture what I needed to capture. So what that means is how to tell time by the moon is debunked, essentially. I mean, by myself, right? How to tell time by the moon is it's the hypothesis. All right. So the sun needs to be north in the middle of every night in order for the sun to be across the flat Earth. So is the sun always north in the middle of the night? And what I've found is that in the summer, it can appear that it is north directly. I'm far north, and apparently that's the reason, which is obviously why I called for recordings from other places. But either way, that's all in the past now. This is confirmable from your own porch. Okay, so tonight, what you're going to want to do is go and take a look at the moon and figure out where the sun is coming from, where the light is coming from, because that's the sun. So if the sun is down, Is the Earth flat? No, it can't be. And guys, it sucks. I don't even want to. This is the worst video to have to make. It really is. I wanted the alternate to be true badly, but you know, them's the breaks. It's science. This is how it works. You take a look, you make a hypothesis. Does it line up with your hypothesis? All right, keep checking, and as long as you can get the outliers on each side, this is the furthest north it goes, this is the furthest south it goes, which is the solstices, then you're onto something. And so it's been a long time in the making, and it is an unfortunate conclusion. It's not what I want. I actually have to change my book, How to Tell Time by the Moon, so I'm going to advise don't buy the book for now. It does still work, but the conclusion was wrong. And so it doesn't really work in the winter, whereas it works really well in the summer, especially from a further northerly position. I don't know what it looks like in the south. Like I said, no submissions today. So I do have to modify my book. However, the facts are in my book, and the theories inside it are science, and it's what's led to the scientific method being used to conclude that yes, the Earth is, well, I mean, it could be any shape, right? But what we've found is that the sun is down in the middle of the night, and that means that there is no flat Earth at all. I wish I would have got the readings, compass readings from the south, a submission of someone. You guys could still send that in, and I can include that in a later video possibly. But what have I learned from the flat Earth? Essentially, it's definitely not what I was expecting to learn. What I thought I was learning was about, geography. Instead, what I was learning was about the condition of man at this time. And it's bad. It's really bad. It's so bad that I'm not even sure if this deception was on purpose because people are so dumb. I mean, I've seen it. I've watched it. And I made videos about both sides. Some of my videos have been debunked by this new footage. However, the facts are in that ballers and flat earthers alike have no idea what's going on. They simply don't know. It doesn't matter if you're talking to Stephen Hawking or just some guy at the pizza shop. They know essentially the same amount, and it's not much. How did we end up with a model that's actually true without having any intelligent people around? I have no idea. I have no idea, but the data is in. It speaks for itself. It doesn't really need my input. And that's the reason I released it. So obviously, it needs to be falsifiable in order for it to be science. And did I get the results that I wanted? No, I did not. But the results are in, and there really is no denying the facts. If the sun is down, then it doesn't work. Okay? If the earth is flat and the sun is down, then what's lighting up Australia in the middle of the night? Another sun, and that's just, I'm fine with entertaining theories, but it's like two suns, then show it to me. And people are gonna storybook a lot, and they're gonna make up a lot of nonsense about NASA having fake suns or anything like that. But like, the evidence is in. It is. And guys, you really need to be questioning anybody that's in the South right now. I'm really wondering what's up with Eric Dubé, because while I never got my southern compass measurements, I am left to assume that programs like what is it? The one that shows sunrise and sunset angles. I forget. Anyways, I gotta assume that those are correct, and if those are correct, then that means Eric Dubé has just been lying, just like blatantly lying, and he knows it because he allegedly lives in the South, right? So that means he's watching the sun actually the South Pole, circle the South Pole. And he knows about our footage. Obviously, our footage isn't a secret. Lots of people in America think that the Earth is flat and have taken footage, taken measurements. Um, However, basically nobody's done it in the South. So, and even if they do, they never even prove their location. They don't take multiple measurements. We're left completely in the dark as to, is that even in Australia, or because we know that the sun sets in our southwest. We know it rises in our southeast. What we need to know is what happens in the south, right? I mean, we don't even need to know that now, because at this point we can observe for ourselves. You do it in the depth of winter for the northern hemisphere, and sounds so strange to say. I hate being a glober now, but no, I mean it's true. It's true. Start asking yourself how you got tricked into this. And for me, the answers are things like, well, gravity's never been displayed. You know, that's huge, especially when people that you talk to believe that that's the proof, or that ships disappear beyond the horizon from the bottom, and then people zoom in with the cameras and show that that doesn't happen. So why is there no evidence of curvature? I have no idea. Could the Earth be bigger than they say? Nah, I don't. I don't think it really actually could be significantly different than what they're saying. Um, but then again, I obviously don't have measurements from anywhere else. So, guys, it's been a roller coaster ride. The signs were there. Anytime you bring it up to the bigger channels, like, hey, what about measurements? Why don't we get any southern hemisphere measurements? Or why don't we get, anytime you bring it up, these people block you. So is it any wonder that nobody's been getting to the bottom of anything? I mean, right now, Eric Dubé is doing like acupuncture videos and, people twerking in the streets. And it's like, dude, is that really important this winter solstice? Or do you have some measuring to do? And I left that comment on his page. And you know what everybody had to say? Thumbs down. You don't need to measure. What good's a compass is what they say. Like, the moon's flat is what they say. It's like, dude, the moon's not flat. We can see the moon right in front of us, and you're saying that it's flat. The Earth you can't see right in front of you like that. I mean, you can see dirt in front of you, right? But I'm saying, like, as a whole, you don't get to see the whole thing right in front of you like you do the moon. You get to see half of it right in front of you if it's a full moon. So they're coming up with the moon's flat. So they're at this point, you know, they're so into denying reality that there's no talking to them. They just want to hear something that reinforces, and that's it. Now, what's going on with the space agencies? I have no idea because they're all putting out crap footage. That doesn't mean that space necessarily doesn't exist, but I'm not believing in space. I haven't seen any evidence for it, and I have seen evidence for the vomit comet. So, period. So, is there a firmament? There definitely could be. We saw that one rocket try and stop when it hit it, right? So, Who knows? Was that real footage? Was that? Nobody knows because nobody's doing any measuring. Nobody's doing anything on their own. This is all just top-down information. So where are we at with this? Unfortunately, there's a ball. I have to change my book. Uh, I did come up with telling time by the moon, and I did expose that solar time is not what your clock says the time is, which is a problem. That means the model's technically wrong, even though it's right. So, why are people getting tricked into this? Well, it could have something to do with people going around like, oh, it's 8 o'clock when it's actually 6:30 in the morning. Like, people think they're lazy nowadays, like getting out of bed at 7 o'clock. Like, no, that's 5:30. Uh, if we were actually telling the truth about what time it is. So, yeah, like, share, subscribe. I'm going to change my book, so don't buy the book. It does need to be changed. Does it work? It does technically work. Now, though, you have to draw a line between north and south and put the sun wherever it is, and then you use the model, the heliocentric model. So when it's directly on far side of the ball Earth from you, then that's when it's midnight. Of course, you're only going to see that from my location when it's deep winter. But still, if you're on the equator, uh, either way, the theory is that you can tell what time it is by locating the sun. Okay, so that is still true. My conclusion about it and where the sun was always located, that is actually incorrect. And the sun does go down, and it is on the other side of something. Could be a diamond. We haven't seen any evidence for that. So we'll say a ball. So, Kennedy Walker signing off, ball earther, and author of How to Tell Time by the Moon, which is a ball earth proof. Ouch. Them's the breaks.